Okay, so that was long, but worth it. Well, there's a lot of people I didn't know, like how do you get monetized and how do you do it all at once? Because I'm like, if you're gonna do it one time, you might as well do it for all of them, right? Okay, so I think everybody understands where we're at there. I think this is gonna go a lot faster too. Okay, so I'm just going to roll through what I've got here. I'm going to let you know what I've got going on and this quick little steps, the steps I'll be taking, right, to try and get that money rolling. And I'm trying to give you ideas. This isn't like me showing off or anything like that. This is like, I never thought that I could do that, or I never thought considered that, or anything like that. Okay. So easy peasy. We're going to figure this, we're going to do it together. And that's why I'm saying we're doing it together. I won't go into my personal finances with you, but I'll let you know. Like I said, all of these, I've made a little money here and there, if the product even exists, right? I've got on here online courses. I haven't made those courses. I know that all of the stuff that I'm going to put in them, but I haven't like gone to even figure out how to make a course, right? That's down the line. That's where I want to be at the end of this year, is leaning into those courses. But I want to have something to lean into. And that means I've got to learn how to make them, because I want to learn, I want to start making them in 2025. So I'm going to do all the back, right? I'm going to do all the back work on it so that I feel comfortable getting up and started. Just like with this, like knowing the right settings and having the right microphone and making sure that I have the right backup and making sure I've got a little bit of a script and that I've done my homework and that I'm comfortable talking about it and that I've gone through and I'm like, okay, I'm not sharing anything too much, right? Like it's all of the things. And now we're stepping into implementation. Okay. So I really want to give people a lot of encouragement, especially if you're neurodivergent or you're just, looking for a side hustle that's like, oh, because these are low, what's the word? Entry types of things. Like I'm going to show you, like it's going to be really crazy. Okay. So I'm just going to go through my stuff and then I'm going to see if you've got some ideas, right? That'll hopefully ideas or questions. And then if you have questions, then that's more content that we can put out for you. Okay. But I want to know what you're really interested in, what I do. Okay. Or what I'm doing. So first off, that was number one, right? Social media. Boom. Number two for me is bird dog investigations, which is my investigation, my psychic investigation, and mediumship business. That's what I've been doing for the past 4 years. And so, and I've even done, use my gift for real estate and acquiring property and getting guests out, all sorts of stuff. So bird dog investigations is my investigative, but mainly my bread and butter is divorces. So I create leverage. I don't create it. How about this? I find leverage for people who are getting divorced in order to facilitate. I had such a horrible one that I was like, I really want to help people. It's funny. I've only represented two women. Most of my clients have been men, actually, most of them pilots, actually, because I was a flight attendant. So word got around, and Lord knows they divorce a lot. So I got that's how I've made a living over the past 4 years, is off of people. I'm not. Hey, divorce was the happiest thing. It was the best thing I've ever done. So I am it sucks, but you're free. Okay. So that being said, let's go here and. I can hear people like, how long was she married? And this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. 6 Claire's, y'all. I can hear you. So bird dog investigations. And I do have a website. It's in my coffee shop, actually, where I have all of my things for like jury dude, like any type of jury stuff. Yeah. So that's one big umbrella, right? Bird dog investigations with a lot of different avenues. Like even I'm trying to dip my foot into the matchmaking space. Okay. So that is another avenue under bird dog investigations. Okay. So that's number two. Then we have digital products. Okay. So this is going to be my ebooks, my manifestation and dream journals for my other channel, any type of content that I want to put out here. I'm going to be doing that. Also, I do custom Airbnb signage. So when you're like, please don't put your towels, your dirty towels in the sink or whatever it is, that type of stuff, like all over, or welcome to the house, or traveling, things. But I do custom. So if you're into motorcycles, because a lot of people don't know, a lot of Airbnbs are themed, especially when you're like in California and stuff. People are really into, whether it's the seaside or camping or whatever, and they bring that theme into their Airbnbs. And so I do custom signage for them. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I actually really enjoy designing, which is so crazy because I went to school for photography and I had to take the design classes. And now I don't do photography. I shot for 10 years and I'm like, I'm done. And I'm doing digital stuff. So it's funny how all that works out, right? And oh, and for all the people, I did not. I had two more classes. So it doesn't matter. I got what I needed. I actually, it's like I feel like people. Well, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. All right. Again, focus. Don't squirrel out. So, okay. So next up, we've got FA. So what does that mean? Flight attendant. A lot of people want to become a flight attendant and they have no idea how to get started. And it's actually kind of difficult. The industry makes it a little difficult to get in. And I actually had 8 offer letters from 8 more than several airlines. I only worked for 2. Well, technically, I've actually worked for 3 because working for one, I worked for 2 separate airlines. So even though I worked for Mesa, which is a regional, I was able to fly on American and United. So I had both uniforms, right? Like I pretended I was American, I pretended I was a United, but I wasn't pretending, and I had to know both code shares and everything like that. And I would work them in different bases. So, anyways, I know how to get hired. I've lived in 17 different crash pads, so I know crash, and I have contacts in the industry, right? So I offer resume revamps for people. People don't realize that the industry is looking for a very, very, very certainly formatted resume. And people want to put all the things on there, and they actually have to be really, really simple. And so I'm able to do that. I also do image consultations. So I'll get on a Zoom call and be like, okay, this is, because different standards for different airlines. You want to dress differently for a Southwest interview than you do for a Delta interview. And I've done them all. Okay. And each airline has its own personality and what they're looking for, right? Like United would never hire me. I laugh too much, right? They're more business. They're not family oriented. Southwest, right? Loved, right? American, they love just great personalities, but they're usually looking for youth. Where if you get to Delta, like in my Delta class, the oldest people in our training class were 62 and over. Actually, the oldest one was 64, a 64-year-old woman. And then the older gentleman was 63 in my Delta new trainees class. Okay. So this is possible. And people don't realize you're going after 500,000 up against 500,000 other people for 1,900 positions if you apply for Delta. They open it up once a year. Okay. Hiring. So I'm just saying, like, you definitely want to get a leg up. So I do Zoom consults for people, and then I help them with their, go through the I don't do the psychological. I don't help people with the psychological testing because I want to make sure the people I'm flying and that my colleagues are flying with are sound. So we don't help them with that, but help go through the application, because the application is a bear. It is a bear. It'll take you 4 hours. Promise. Promise. And that's without the psychological, and I'm talking about real psychological ones. So anyways, you're up there in the sky, right? They want to get you out, weed you out really quickly. So the only other testing that I've had that was as to that type of caliber was when I was looking at getting into finance and being a financial advisor, and that I had that type of testing. So I've definitely seen it, and I've definitely passed it. So, all right. So I know that sounds like a me, but I'm just giving you idea, like Zoom call consultations, right? Like this is the type of stuff that you can really maximize. Like, are you really good at just, I don't know, crocheting? Right? Oh gosh, I got to put that on the list. Oh my goodness. I'm like, see, you're giving me ideas. I don't even know if I have it on here. What just popped up? Everybody wants to know. We'll just roll into it since it's at the top of the list. Where are we? Bird dog investigations. Oh, okay. So I'm losing my place. Okay. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to talk about it because I have it up there. Okay. Next up. If there is something that you're really, really good at, and I'm talking like woodworking, even mixing cocktails, anything like that, I want you, here's the T for tip number 4, or whatever it is. business goal number 4. is Airbnb experiences. And this is like, are you good at kayaks and you got a couple of them? Take people on Riverwalk kayak tours or whatever they've got them around here. There's a guy that he knows a lot about bourbon and he invites people to his home. They sit on the porch and he teaches them. They have a bourbon tasting. This is just at his own house. This happens to be beautiful in the country, right? They're also hop on to Airbnb experiences. Like I'm going to be getting on there for my tarot readings. People come tarot in the park or learn. I actually am going to be getting a brick and mortar store, actually, like for client meetings. I mean, not like a store, but I'll be utilizing a co-op space to be able to do face-to-face consultations with people because I'm going to be getting more involved with small businesses and everything like that. So it's good to have like an actual business, right? A business uh, address and a place to send mail. People don't know where I live, and also a place where I can meet clients face to face. So I can do that flight attendant thing there if I wanted to, instead of a Zoom call if somebody wanted to do something along those lines. So definitely look into, if you're like, oh, I don't, if I could do this, if I had the space, look at your T number 4. Look at co-oping spaces. Like they're really, really inexpensive, even for photography. You can rent studio spaces for like $35 an hour. Yeah, and if you're doing like a shoot that pays $800, you don't know where to do it, like start looking into that, right? Let's start investing in ourselves, right? Investing in ourselves. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so that would be, I guess, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I should just, okay, that was number 5. We're just going to do this as so I don't get out of place. I just got to do things for myself and remember. Okay, so what's next? You're going to like this one. And I actually kind of started manifesting it this week because it is modeling. That's right, modeling. Now, I know that I have beautiful features, so this is parts modeling. Okay, so like hands, feet, people need earrings for ears, whatever it is. I'm going to look up for modeling at, so they have parts agency. You can look it up. They're like, you look up casting, acting casting, and you can, because right now I'm still working on my body. I don't know. I'm not trying to take like expensive pictures right now and to put up on my, because I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be trying to shoot for commercials and all that other stuff, but I'm still like working on everything. But in the meantime, I went ahead, how did I manifest? I got, I got a membership for an auditions list, and I'm getting like 50 a day, y'all. 50 a day. And you get a subscription. I went ahead and went for the annual because they cut it in half, and I was like, you know what? Let's just bite the bullet. Let's get it. And I am blown away at the job opportunities. It lists UGC. It lists, I might gatekeep this one. No, I'm not. It's backstage. UGC, I don't know if it's parts modeling, acting, all sorts of stuff, right? And these are, this is like Netflix and HBO, like these are serious, like actual job interviews. And there's some of them you don't have to leave home. It's just UGC work, which is user generated content, which will also be in this list. And we're going to talk about that, but we're not going to do it now. Okay. We're going to just go down this list and keep it pushing. All right. So look up parts modeling. If they're like feet or, shoulder, anything, you know what I mean? Like you're just like, I'm not comfortable with this, but I got great lips or something like that. People, right? People need for lip gloss commercials. Like the people need this stuff, right? And so this is where you can really start building some self-confidence and be like, you know what? I got a great smile in the back or a great tattoo, right? That's also another thing. Look at 420 pinups if you're like a tattoo girly like myself and you're kind of alternative. And you like some of the, the medical love, check out 420 and you're like smoking, like doesn't matter size. They got them all. Everybody loves a good alt girl, right? So check out 420 pinups because they actually travel to different cities and you can get a lot of exposure through that. Okay. So, okay. Next up is jewelry. And there's making my own. And then there's also Temu. Okay. I'm just saying, I've told you, I'm going to put you on. Okay. So making my own, I'm going to be doing this for my spiritual business. I got all these amethyst rocks because I'm going to be making like mojo necklaces. So I bought this off of Amazon, this whole thing. of these amethyst crystal pieces. They're like, well, how are you going to use them? I'm going to wire wrap them. I watched a couple of videos on how to wrap wire because it was falling out of my little thing that I had, and that's kind of bulky. I wear an amulet kind of, and it's just sometimes it's not the sexiest thing, right? You want something that's like pretty and demure. I'm going to be putting charms, all that other stuff. So I'm going to be. So I watched a couple. I got some wire wrap, $10, and I got these, and I got the necklaces. Just the bulk off of Amazon, $20 for like 100 of them. And I watched a couple of videos on how to wire wrap, and I did it along with the video. And now I know I only know one, but that's all I need to be able to wrap these and to attach the charms with my little Lucky Mojo Gree necklace stuff. And if you're interested in that, the link will be down below. Okay. So that's one way of necklaces that I'll be making. But also, when I say jewelry, I want to show you what I've been like. My Temu hauls have been ridiculous. This entire, like, you go to the flea market and they have those big things with all of the rings that are all just crap cheap. Yep. You want to know how much? So I've got gold in there and I've got silver in there. So I bought 2 packages of them. And they each cost me $5. And I'm going to these flea markets and they're selling these rings for like $7-10. The same ones that I just got from Temu. You saw all those 2 packages, $10. That whole thing cost me. And then let's see here. We have them in here. The earrings, all these sets. I think they're like $20 for a set of 50 of them, and they're all funky boho. And I'm going to be personalizing them with my own little charms. These are going to be enchanted items. Okay. I'm not, because like for me, I'm not trying to get into like the jewelry selling business. I'm trying to get into how to creatively wear magical items and make them stylish and not look like a crazy lady with a big old, like, I should show it to you. Yeah, it's right here. So I source, magical items. And so I have my little, I used amethyst because I was going somewhere. So took out my big chunky amethyst that I keep on me, and I put my little pretty one in here. But first of all, if you're not going for the look, then this is just a lot. But secondly, I have my little, you see, this is a root. It's Lucky Hand. It's actually it's not that hard to find. Well, I've heard that it's hard to find quality, or like a lot of people will fake it. So it's got to look like it's got the hands on it, because some people just put a chunk of whatever. And that was actually really expensive. It's really expensive. So I don't want to be losing it, right? So, but yeah, that just looks, I look like a little crazy, right? Walking around with a hand root. Why are they so precious? Because they actually come from like the root of an orchid, and orchids are like so finicky and expensive and rare anyways, right, in their own right. So to have the root of an orchid, but my gosh, it does bring in the mojo, guaranteed. So anyways, yeah, so those are the necklaces that I'm trying to make, right? And so necklaces, jewelry, enchanted items, things that can be, easily lost. The magic is all, I always have the magic, well, I say, well, and I'm like, well, because people can lose their abilities if they misuse them. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm tea fisting. I got the tea and the bubbly. I like, another thing, ADHD. I like different things. I have little candies. I have different drinks that I'm drinking on. I like different textures, right? Because I think I got about a 20. I took a autist to see if I'm on the spectrum. And I got about a, I don't want to, yeah, I don't want to, but there's definitely some traits there. But now that I've done a little bit more searching, I feel like it's probably a little more Aspergery than it is. But there are definitely there's a lot of crossover between ADHD, right? Like my central nervous system. And then there's a lot also with being, a 6 clairpsychic, which is also a medium, right? So I pick up on all of the energies, including the dead ones in the house. So it's a lot, right? So I isolate myself a lot. You are my family. This is my, I try and stay behind the screen and away from other people as much as possible, unless I need to step into that type of thing for work, right? Okay, so moving right along. So we got jewelry. Okay, now photography. I shot professionally for 10 years. So I have been having a, I want to get back into, I don't want to shoot people anymore. I had to say, I worked in a hospital for 5 years photographing babies. I was actually the head photographer. So I got to like do all the NICUs and teach all the photographers and all that other stuff, but it was a lot, right? Sometimes you're photographing and I have to teach them, right? Because we in the photography community say, I'm going to go shoot this and shoot this wedding. This, you can't talk about shooting babies in the hospital. No bueno. So you got to change that language. But yeah, I did a lot and I got burnt out. But my favorite thing that I did, and it was just taking off when I became um, a flight attendant, and so I kind of put all that away because my camera was just too big to lug around on airplanes, and I didn't have time, and I was tired. But that being said, I love gallery work. So I had actually got accepted at one gallery before I went to flight attendant school. And so I was really excited because they were buying my work and they were eating it up and I loved it. And it was all just, it wasn't people. It was just like water and like, and I love, macro, playing with macro and micro, and I do almost exclusively black and white. So I would love to get back into selling prints again, which is where I would be going with the photography. But I could always, I mean, here's the thing is you can always rent a DSLR and I could go photograph, newborns or whatever. Also, I've thought about it and I'm thinking about it for Valentine's Day as doing a boudoir shoot, like a marathon, which I used to do a lot actually back in the day. Pardon me, my bangs drive me crazy. So what is that? I'm like, well, we're talking about photography, right? So, a boudoir marathon is where you either rent you have your own Airbnb, your own house, or you get an Airbnb, or you get a hotel room, or you ask your friend who's got a nice house to use their house, and then you get like 10, 15 ladies that are interested in doing boudoir, and then you have a makeup artist come in and do their makeup for free with while selling her services. Then and they are required to tip. And then you have a hairstylist that comes in and does it for free, but she's getting all of this, right? All of this exposure to these beautiful women, right? That like to look good, right? Because the ladies that are coming to me for boudoir are really, people that want to take it for many reasons. It could be for breast cancer, mastectomy, wanting to feel better, to get better with their husband, all sorts of stuff. Wedding photos, gifts. People do boudoir for whatever reason. But if you can get a whole and then a second shooter so that you can kind of like work quickly and an assistant, but these are people that you can get to do it for free because people are always looking to like go to the local high school and go to the photography club and ask the teacher who their number one student is and that you want to give them some free work. That's how you find people. If you need models, if you want people, if you want to just do this for your own portfolio, go on to Model Mayhem. Okay, and get models who want to be shot for free. You just do a trip. I need models, you need pictures. Okay, there's no excuses here. I have done shoots on airbeds. Okay, airbeds in one room with white sheets. That's it. No excuses, folks. No excuses. Okay. All right. So photography. Next is merch. Now this is big. Okay, this is a big one for me, and I'm really excited about it because I'm going to be creating merch for all of my channels. So each channel, I mean, I think I'm going to put them all under one shop. I'm not sure. I might just try some different shops out, like try maybe Redbubble on one and Shopify on the other and like Teespring on one. I don't know, but that's kind of like why we're having this conversation, right? Is because I can design one. Okay, let me put you on some game. Let me put you on some tea. I know a gentleman. He was a manager at one of the Airbnbs that I went to, that I stayed at, and here's the thing: is like he's from Portugal, and so all he does is like Portuguese flag stuff. Because first of all, any type of flag is shared domain or public domain, so you can use and you can put a flag on it. You won't get in trouble for it or copyright or anything like that. So he just does Portuguese stuff, right? And he eats and slays. But he does, a couple of designs a day, right? And he's got like thousands now, thousands. But once you design it, you never have to do it again. You just upload it. You can start with one. You can go, I'm going to put you in game, go to Canva, look up t-shirts, move the stuff around and make the colors bigger and smaller and this, that, and the other. You got a new t-shirt. Okay. And then you upload it for free at one of these. This is merch. Okay. Merchandise. But another thing that he told me, and I haven't implemented this yet because I've just been a lazy bum, but I'm going to this is why my accountability partners, right? That's you. I need to start doing all of my designs. Basically, can I show you this? This size. Okay. I need to make them big, giant tapestries. Because when you make a tapestry, you can take that tapestry, you can take that one design down to a coaster or a matchbook or a lighter if you wanted to. But you can't take that design, the lighter design, and make it a tapestry, right? So if you always, sorry, I gotta keep remembering to look at the camera. You always want to take the bigger and then be able to bring it down, because when you're talking about sizing a tapestry versus a coffee mug that's curved, right, it's going to look different in the different sizes, but you have all of the basic elements there, and then you can just kind of move it around versus designing something like me. I'm just doing it on t-shirt stuff, and now if I want a tapestry, I have to go redesign it and resize it, and that's annoying. And I only like doing work once, because one thing, I may be ADHD, but I only like doing stuff once. I am a Capricorn and I like efficiency. And that is what I was hired to do this in my restaurants, is how to find efficiencies. I am this excellent at what I do when it comes to that. Okay. So, and it's not cutting corners, it's doing it the right way and doing it once the right way, right? This is foundational stuff that we're talking about. Okay. So next up so we talked about merch, and that you can go from and also another thing with merch, if you're really into like right now pickleball is big, or if you're a nurse, or if and you're in like nail salon, any type, anything, go on to Etsy. This is how you find out if you can make money off of merch. Okay, you go to Etsy, you put lawyer, funny humor t-shirts or whatever, and you see what pops up, and then you'll get really, really, really inspired. I guarantee you, especially like teachers and medical, like if it's really, really niche down, pickleball, rugby, like any of those things that are really like, just like, I only love, macrame, whatever it is, like find some funny things and go, go. And you don't have to do this on Canva. Like, I mean, you don't have to pay for Canva. There's a free version of Canva that you can do this on. So again, no excuses. Okay. All right. Here's one for you. Airbnb arbitrage and co-hosting. I have not done arbitrage. I am looking into doing arbitrage. I have co-hosted. I do not want to I've managed. How about that? I've managed and I've co-hosted. Mainly managed where I manage all operations, right? And I don't want anything to do with that. I finally graduated to having my own Airbnb, and I was like, I don't even know if I want to do that anymore. Not, I mean, my own, where people are coming. I'm talking about, this is how we're going to scale this, right? Is because we're trying to build our real estate empire. Okay. So this is why we're staying in this Airbnb space. Plus, I know it really well. Okay. So arbitrage is when you go to, let's say, a next door neighbor, just for example, the house is for rent. The house hasn't been rented for a while. They had whatever, but right. So let's just say this house is for rent, which it is. I could go to the owner and say, hey, have you thought about short-term rentals? Right? Have you ever considered Airbnb? Blah, 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 blah. Right? There's converting people to do Airbnb, right? And taking a fee, like a finder's fee, which is what I used to do. And now there's arbitrage where you're like, hey, can I rent your house? I'm going to rent it. And I'm gonna be on point with, you're gonna get but the one thing is, I need for you to allow me to run an Airbnb out of here. So you're using the house, hopefully the furnish, right? Because like you don't want to furnish it yourself, but if you want to, you could put it on a credit card very easily. There's actually a furniture rental place that is made straight up for short-term rentals. Okay, so you can go there and then you can just wrap that into your Airbnb, like what you're going to be paying. Oh gosh, I can't even. I'm getting so excited. I should probably put this on a stand, but this is just so much more intimate. So yeah, there's a lot. So there's arbitrage, and then there's co-hosting, where you're handling like the reservations, like when people are inquiring, whatever. You can do that remotely. A lot of people do, and you can get paid that way, or get paid a percentage. Also, and there's all sorts of, like, if you bring people in, right, you can roll into marketing if you're really good with just anything, right? I mean, even if you've got photography skills, you help them get the listing photos better, and you do a little research on how to optimize a listing, and you talk to an Airbnb ambassador and you ask questions so that when people ask you questions, you can be knowledgeable. Okay, so That's just so if you're interested in arbitrage or codes, like I said, I haven't worked arbitrage, but I have highly researched it. And then the co-hosting is just being put on there. But there are a lot of, Airbnb, there's a lot of stuff out there like on YouTube University that you can look at. Okay, so that's, I'm leaving that open for myself. I want to move out of the co-hosting management space and into the arbitrage where I have the capital, because basically I'm going to be going to places that I know are furnished and saying, hey, can I run my Airbnb out of here? And then I'll have my little minions running the Airbnb, right? I'll get it set up and then I'll be building my team. Okay, so that's like the big, if you guys want to know the real big thing, along with the social medias, right? I mean, that's where the income, with brand deals and all of that, right? This is all going to be morphing into, right? So that's why we have this channel. This channel is all about making money, income streams. That's why we have another one, which is a fun one, right? Because I am maximizing right now. Resumes don't matter these days. It's social capital, right? So I want people to come to me and give me free food and give me, right, and ask me to do reviews. So that's, you know, I'm working into the things that I love doing, because I told you I am so critical and very self-critical, right? I'm also really good in critiquing things. So I'm like, well, how do I weaponize and monetize that? Okay, so we are, I forgot to, okay, I don't know what number it is. Bear with me. Okay, I think we're going to have to, actually, you know what? I think we're going to have to do like a part. They said keep going. Okay. So next up is brand deals. Okay, here we go. Brand deals. Now, what's the difference? Because we're going to do brand deals and we're going to do UGC, because I'm going to explain them. So I'm going for brand deals, which I want brands to reach out to me and ask me to come onto here and like, ta-da, right? And pay me to do that. But they're only going to do that when I have a following. Okay, that's how brand deals work. It doesn't have to be much, right? They actually love micro influencers, and it has to be a brand that's going to be a brand, like I wouldn't put a spiritual brand on my LinkedIn or something like that, right? You know what I mean? I'm not going to cross or this channel, if that makes any sense. I'll be doing spiritual fun, fun stuff over there, maybe jewelry or whatever. I'm hoping those brands will reach out and say, here's some free stuff. And, excuse me, then over here, people that are more maybe like Skillshare or something along those lines, right? And then on my other channel, like the fun stuff, like travel brands or Tiva or something like that. I don't know. I know. I'm reaching for the stars. Tiva, I'm coming for you. I told you that in 2020. If you want to see that video, I'll link it below. Actually, it is linked below. Oh, yeah, the Salton Sea one. Yeah, if you want to see that video where I said, Tiva, I'm coming for you, it's at the end of the video. It was the beginning of my 2020 road trip. I was in an earthquake. Go to that video. I'm in the earthquake on camera. Not even kidding. So, all right, here we've got the brand deals. Okay, so brand deals, the brands reach out to you because you have a following. They want you to make content to push out to your followers. UGC is user generated content, where I'm basically reaching out to brands and say, I'm a pretty face. Do you want me to do a review for you? And so, content that I'll be looking at, people I'll be looking at is like, well, health and wellness and like mental health, things that I'm really like passionate about, and food stuff and travel, stuff, and like, like luggage or whatever it is, whatever pops up, the universe will bring whatever it is, right? For each. Now, remember, these are 3 different channels. So these are 3 different sets of brand deal people I'm trying to get, people that are interested in business, right? They'll be coming over here. And then brands that are interested in the tarot, the keens and all this stuff out there, the psychic readings, blah, blah, blah. And then brands that are interested in my whatever, or restaurants that give me, like I'm trying to get my Google reviews going, right? So I can like get people reaching out to me like to give me food. That's okay. You see a running theme here. Oh, I like wine too. Wineries. I never even thought about that. And like hotels and resorts. Like I'm gonna and you're gonna be on this journey with me. Okay. So let's see here. So next up, so I hope you believe, so those are 2 different ones on the list. Next up is we have affiliate marketing. Okay. Several brands we're going to be looking for, right? This is basically like, I will be doing it here. Like, this is my light stand. They've got the Amazon storefront, but now on YouTube, it's a Walmart storefront, right? But it's the affiliate links. I can get a small little amount of commission if you use this link, right? So everything that I'm using, I'm putting those links in all of my social media so that that starts going, right? That's a trickle. People are like, yeah, it's 2 cents or 50 cents or whatever, but it adds up. Okay. Okay. Let me put you on something. Okay. I didn't know this, but Amazon reviews, like if you go and review Amazon products and put those reviews on actual Amazon, not just out like in YouTube land or whatever, but on the site under. So don't do something with the Deadman Rush that 1,000 people have demonstrated. Find something that either you really like or that you'd like to try that doesn't have any videos. Okay. And you keep doing this and you keep making these videos. I got to put myself on here again. I'm like, I don't think I have this on the list. But you make these videos and they will monetize. Amazon will pay you money for as many times as people, they will pay you a commission for people to just come watch the videos of the reviews. Yeah. Now, don't ask me, like, you're going to have to go down the rabbit hole on there, but I know it's for sure that you can do that. So go down the YouTube University rabbit hole on that one, but affiliate links just regularly, you can see that anywhere, right? And you don't have to do Amazon. You don't have to be an associate of Amazon. You can go to, like, I think there's something like called ClickBank, and you can say vitamins or beauty products. There's all these products that people need people to try and review for them. And once you get enough under your belt, maybe you get paid $50 the first time, but maybe, when you start getting better, you're getting $350, $500 to do a 30-second video. Come on, y'all. Don't tell me. If you tell me I don't even know how to make a TikTok, well, you better get on and do. I challenged myself to make a TikTok without ever being on there in 2020, to making one a day, like to learn it and just force myself and push myself through it. You can make a TikTok. Okay. All right. So next up, I'm like, do we need to stop here? I feel like that's a good place to stop. Oh, there's one thing. Okay. We're going to, because I got to count these. I'm gonna have to count these, and then we'll make a part. We'll see how it does. We'll make the next part, and then we'll just kind of keep going with it. Okay. But the next one I am gonna put here because it feels like it's kind of the same. Let's see here. I'm gonna put it up here. Okay. Referral links. Okay. So if you are part of any type of association or like I don't know association, but referral links. Like, so a lot of the girls, like I love and consume a bunch of OnlyFans content, like the YouTube girls and like all of the crazy guys. I don't have one yet. It's on the list, but it won't be explicit. It won't be explicit. It'll be fun, sexy, like hosiery. Just I do a lot of thrifting, and I want to do some cosplay. And so I'm going to be doing that. So, again, another income stream, but I still plan on possibly getting into politics. So I can't be showing the tatas, although y'all know I love that. Oh, y'all don't know. I'm like, this channel doesn't know. The other channel knows. But before you get the wrong idea, I was doing undercover work for a private interested party, and I had to go undercover as an exotic dancer. So and I ended up falling in love with it. Not the whole, I didn't like anything about being there, but I loved dancing. It was just really freeing, and I love the pool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Enough that I have one. So a lot of freedom in that, but I won't even be doing that type of content on there, more than likely. So anyways, they're like, there's no shame in this game. There are people on there, they wiggle their toes on there and make money, and don't think I'm not going to be putting some feet solo of the soles of my feet. You can think it's weird. I've got beautiful feet, and I think other people are going to like them too. We're going to find out. Everything is an experiment. Everything's a spirit. What's the worst case scenario? What happens? Somebody likes them, or I learned something interesting, right? So, or I might possibly have another income stream on something that I can't even help having. So the referral links. So, a lot of the girls make so much more money off of their referral links than they do even on the whatever. Like, they get other girls into it, and then they make money off of that other girl. They make 5% or whatever of whatever she makes going forward. Does that make sense? So it's like, if I refer you to Instacart, it's like I would get paid $20 for sending you over to Instacart. And then I would get every $10 you sell or whatever that gets delivered, I would get like $1 of that in perpetuity. What does perpetuity mean? Let's watch Shark Tank forever. So these girls are making money off of these other girls, right? So that's why they're pushing. That's why there's this huge network of like trying to drag people into the underbelly of OnlyFans. A lot of it is because it's referrals. Just sad, right? But I mean, there's crappy people in every industry, include especially that one, right? So yeah, that we're gonna stop there. We're gonna count them, and then we're gonna turn this into a part 2. And yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun.